Hi, Scott Grove, Imagine Woodworking. Wanted to talk about irons. So if you're doing veneering, especially compound veneering, you may need, probably will need, an iron to either do repairs or actually do the compound veneering. Which means you're going to need a whole variety of irons depending on the type of curve, convex or concave. So, for many years I worked with just a regular traditional household iron, and that works great. You will want to pay attention to the shape of the tip, because sometimes these sharp tips can crack the veneer, especially on a concave one. So think about modifying. You can grind and shape the top so it's not so sharp, or you can find some that have sort of these finer tips to get into narrow spaces. So I like to go to any Goodwill store, secondhand shop. You can get an iron real cheap, and even if they're new, they're not that expensive. But you're probably going to need some other irons also. You can certainly buy a traditional veneering iron. Again, the shape of the tip makes a difference, and they make pointy ones and sort of square ones. I would take notice on how they're built. Some of them have plastic handles, and when you're doing compound veneering or the iron-on technique, you might be pressing quite hard. So think about that. I've broken many of these. I always thought about maybe adding a wooden handle so you can do that. That might be a good thing to do. Patent pending. These little travel irons are great. I used to have one that I loved, finally broke that, but again, they have sort of nice round shapes and easy to get into tight spots, and again, you can get a lot of pressure on there. But having some smaller irons are really good. They make these little travel irons. Model airplane irons are great, and these even have sort of curved, different interchangeable shoes. Some are rounded, which I really, really like. You can also get quilting irons. So quilting irons, again, are small. Again, be careful on how this is constructed. I've broken many of these. But my favorite is a leather iron, leather working iron. This has a real hefty shoe, a lot of heat sink to it, but it is curved, has a rounded top, and you can really sort of get in the tight spots, but it's also, the fact that it's curved, you can get into convex shapes. So start collecting those irons. There's my collection of irons. I actually have some more. Oh, I forgot about this one too. Curling iron. Curling iron is great on outside surfaces, and get one that doesn't have a little flap thing on there. If you do, you can get one that makes sure that this little piece, whatever that's called, you break that off. But I get one without that, and make sure that you can touch the end so you can sort of work the surface with it. And curling irons are great too. So a lot of sources for irons, and I get them from everywhere. So also got another one that I'm making, which I'll keep you posted on, from Granger's, and it'll be a variable temperature. Some of them have digital out reads, but getting either analog thermometer or some sort of digital or infrared thermometer is good too, so you can monitor what temperature you're ironing at, and they vary quite a bit. On that note, you want to be, if you're using Titebond original glue, which is what I use for the iron-on method most of the time, the reason I use that is it has a very narrow reactivation window. So it reactivates and solidifies in only a 7-degree window between 135 and 150 degrees Fahrenheit. That is in centigrade, I don't know, 57.7 to 65.8 centigrade. So if you're into that, that's sort of what that chart's about. But we can talk about that later on other applications. So there you go, irons. Buy them, love them. See you later.